To me, the purpose of this interview was to gain knowledge of a person's experience engaged in criminal behavior. I did an interview on a 27-year-old 6 feet 5 inches security guard and is in love with sports. The questions asked was 1. Describe yourself. 2. How old are you? 3. What do you know about crime? 4. Do you know of anyone who has committed a crime? Yes, no. 5. How is he related to you? 6. What type of crime has he committed? 7. What's the reason behind the crime he has committed? 8. How was him committing the crime dealt with? 9. How do you feel towards his actions on this crime? 10. In your opinion, do you think he set a right example for others? Yes, no, why? Now I'll turn you over to the interviewee.
I would describe myself as a tall, dark, Belizean male, probably stands about 6 feet 5, and I'm madly in love with sports and currently work for a security company at this time. I am 27 years old, and I know crimes are infractions that are committed in society that's deemed illegal. You know, and I've known many people who had committed crimes. But one of the most serious crime that I've known someone to commit is murder, and my relation with that person was actually friends at the time. You know, I didn't quite agree with his actions, and I felt a way about it. I felt I've been betrayed because we didn't portray that type of morality. You know what I mean? I felt that he could have handled his situation differently, and it didn't have to involve murder. As a matter of fact, he could have handled that peacefully, you know, by other means of confrontation, you know, finding a better resolution rather than actually killing someone. So I didn't see eye to eye with him, and it didn't settle right with me, and for that reason, me and him are no longer friends. I'm not sure what his reason behind the crime was, but I felt as if though he and somebody had an altercation, and instead of reasoning it out, it escalated into something more violent that probably they couldn't have reasoned anymore, and it just escalated in one of them shooting the other. Well, he was dealt with by the law, you know, and he'd had he'd been arrested by police officers and taken to the prison for court. He's still there on remand up to now. He's probably not gonna see freedom for a long time. I felt as if though he could have handled his situation differently rather than, you know, committing such infractions and taking another human being's life. I think that was highly uncalled for, and I do believe that he should have been punished for it. Hmm. I honestly don't believe that he set a good example. I think that He might have set the worst example ever because taking someone's life is never okay, and it should never be an option. If somebody does something that they feel good about, that doesn't make it right because they feel good about it. Whether it's vigilante justice or it's revenge, it should never be seen as okay. I personally believe that people who commit infractions in society are never setting a good example to begin with, because if you would operate without order and you'd make it seem as if though it's okay to operate without order, then what is society? As long as they're not setting a correction, then they are never setting a good example.
So, how this case can be applied to a particular sociologic theory would be with the sociologist Walter Miller. Walter B. Miller was a criminologist most known for his contributions to gang research and his work on lower class culture. Miller believed that lower class culture has specific focal concerns, and that the more closely one adhered to these, the more likely one was to be delinquent or a criminal. The focal points that concern his case would be excitement. Why? Because they seek out excitement, particularly when not at work. Walter Miller quoted that seeking excitement might lead to non-utilitarian crime. Toughness, smartness, and trouble might result in fighting. Autonomy might lead people to take matters into their own hands rather than asking for help. Fatalism might mean that they do not consider the consequences of their actions, as the future is already written. A concern can lead to, but is not limited to, only one version type of crime. This theory makes it easier for criminologists to understand why certain people may commit the crimes they do.